In this lecture, we will look at Google Optimize interface. Right in front of you is the main area where you'll spend most of your time. This is where you create your experiments, set everything up, and check the reports. On top, you have this arrow button that takes you to your account and containers. What you have in front of you is your container information. So you are currently in My Container. It's under All Accounts, My Account. So your account is called My Account. You can change a bunch of this information by either clicking in this area where you can manage all your container information. I'm going to close this, manage accounts, create an experiment, link to Google, install Optimize plugin, and start an experiment. This is where you'll manage everything, and we'll go over these in a few minutes. Then you have this arrow. Go ahead and click on this arrow. This is the area where you'll see all your accounts listed. If you have multiple accounts, they'll start to show up right here, and all your containers will be listed here as well. You can create a new account. Once you create a new account, the account will show up here. So go ahead and click Create Account. On the Create Account screen, you have to provide an account name. I'm going to call it Analytics Hire. And you will also be given options to opt into sharing data with Google to improve Google products, benchmarking, in-depth analysis. And then if you agree with terms and services, then go ahead and click I acknowledge and click on Next to create your account. Now you have to provide a name for your container. You remember, container name is simply either your website or Google Analytics property that you're using if you're using multiple subdomains in your experiment. For this example, I'm just going to call it analyticshire.com and click on Create. Now I'm taken to that container. Go ahead and click on Back. Now you can see your Analytics Hire account with your container is available. Your previous account and container are available right here. So as you create more accounts, they'll start to show up here. Ideally, you won't need to create more accounts, but if you are working for an agency or consulting company that works with multiple clients, you might have lots of accounts available here. If you are working on just one website, then you'll just have one container and one account. But if you have multiple subdomains, multiple domains under that account, they'll start to show up in different containers. In order to create a new container, you just go ahead and click on this plus sign here, and that'll add a new container here. So let's go ahead and click on it. Let's say I have a subsite called job.analyticshire.com. I can give that container name. Again, it doesn't matter what you call it. You have 255 characters to fill this information. But make sure this name resonates with all the people who are working with you so they know what exactly this container is about. Then go ahead and click Create. And now again, every time you do that, it launches you into the container. Go ahead and click on this back arrow and your container is now showing up. Few other things I want to cover here. So right now, it's the container name. You're not running any experiments, so you can sort this out if you were running any experiments. How many total experiments? And you haven't tied it to any Google Analytics property at that time. You are logged in likely in the same account as your Google Analytics account, but you haven't tied any property to it. And this is your container ID. Then next to each container is the start, which gives you more options. The only option that's currently available is delete the container. And on top you have plus, which is to create a container. Next one, to manage any users, and more options. So we're going to go ahead and look at these one by one. Go ahead and click on Manage Users. This is where you can invite other users as well as remove their access. We will look into managing users in detail later in the course. So go back. Then you have more options. You can edit an account. Clicking on Edit Account Details will take you to a screen where you can change the account name as well as opt out of any options that you have already opted in or opt into those options. Once done, you can click Save. I'm not going to change the name here, so go ahead and click X and you're out. Then the other option is to view activity. Clicking on it will take you to all the account activity. Here you can see all the account activity. The user who made the change, what action was taken, what was the item type, item name, and the date. You can track pretty much anything that was done by any user. Go back, and then the final option is to delete an account. Once done, To go to any container, all you have to do is click on the container name and that'll launch you into the container. Another way is by clicking on this arrow button where you can go to all accounts. So you got the optimize accounts here. Clicking on it launches all the containers that are available. Clicking on this, it'll take you to the container. So that's it for this lecture. We will start looking at other sections in the next lecture.